Fans of intergalactic Xenos space swarms and alternative resin miniatures, thank you very much for joining me for an unboxing review of something that I hadn't actually planned to do, but then I had some chat recently and I was randomly out buying miniatures and the opportunity has presented itself. I see this review as being part of my ongoing exploration of resin miniatures for futuristic science fiction gaming. And it occurred to me, there's one medium I've not looked at yet, and it's almost like the elephant in the room. And this, of course, is Finecast by Citadel Miniatures. I hope nobody gets triggered by that, and I know there'll be people watching now that have had horrific experiences with Finecast. This may be another horrific experience. We shall see. What I've got here is a Tyranid Lictor. I'm throwing together a little force of Tyranids for having a bit of fun gaming in 8th edition. And I was out buying termagants and I spotted this guy and I thought, oh yeah. And it was at my local independent games store, which is Patriot Games in Leeds. So yeah, I got a bit of a discount, which is always nice. But I thought I'd buy this because one, I like Lictors, and two, well, it's a Finecast miniature, so we can explore it. So without further ado, let's get into this packet. So yeah, what does this cost? £13.95. I checked the retail price. It is correct at £15.50. So this is a current model. So let's see what we got. Well, it comes in this nice smart white box. Reminds me a lot of the packaging that Forge World use. I don't know who came up with the white boxes first, whether or not it was Citadel or if it was Forge World. Probably Citadel actually, but I don't know that for sure. And in the pack we get a single plastic tray with what looks to be 3 Finecast sprues, or 3 sprues of parts, and a base. So let's have a look at these components. Oh gosh, this is a bit lively, this box. We shall start with, so I've got, well, that's standard fare, that's just a 40mm circular base, so nothing unusual there. And then we have the body and the head. So, what's this like, Finecast? Here you have it on channel Leakycheese, a review of a Finecast miniature. So the detail looks really nice. Yeah, some really nice features like the retracted flesh hooks. That's a great little design cue. I do like that. It's got all this sort of skeletal, exoskeleton rib cage, so very Giger-esque. Clearly inspired by the xenomorph design from the film Aliens, or the Aliens universe. We have a nice head with Cthulhu-esque tentacles, so straight in with another sci-fi horror reference here. Now we're Lovecraftian, and yes, you would wonder if this thing has ever, well, you'd wonder if the stars right. Yes, if the stars are right, this thing might come out hunting you. Yeah, nice design, I do like that. It's so Cthulhu-esque. Design notes aside, everything looks very nicely cast. Now another thing I'll comment on straight away is, ooh, what's my Finecast model history? So I can do this for you in about a minute. I've bought 3 examples of the 25th anniversary of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine Crimson Fist miniature. I have bought a set of Citadel Iron Hand upgrade parts. I have bought 1 Jacaro, and that's it. I don't have a great deal of experience in buying Finecast. However, I have bought and handled Finecast miniatures from very early on. One thing I can immediately tell, and it is very, very apparent to me, is the formulation for Finecast has changed. And I can tell this by rubbing my finger on it. The original Finecast was horrendously soft, and I can remember I used to be able to mark it quite easily with a fingernail. This is clearly somewhat harder, so I think there's evidence that they changed the formulation on this material from when it originally came out. I wonder if that's helped with the quality. That first sprue looks very nice. Now let's go into the second sprue. So the second sprue appears to be its large striking arms. I'm not sure what these are called. I bought the Index Xenos 2 yesterday, or a few days ago, because I wanted the Tyranid rules and also the Orc rules for a mate of mine who's got an Orc army. So it was kind of like a nice kill 2 birds with 1 stone thing. It's also got the Genestealer cult army list in it, which is brilliant. I love Genestealer cults. And, you know, perhaps we'll get into gaming some of that with some of the fun narrative gaming I've been doing. Anyway, but these look, let's have a look for these for quality. So I've got a little bit here, a little nano block brick that I do like. Lots of runoff gates. Big difference with the early Finecast models. That looks really nice. I've got to admit that's extremely well turned out. There is barely any mould seam to remove there, and I see no evidence whatsoever of air bubbles. Now, I take that on, with a star against it, because until we take these gates away, these air runoffs, we don't know if there's any air bubbles trapped within those. Probably not, but there could be. But certainly from what is visual on the surface, there's a beautifully cast, barely any mould seam at all, and no air bubbles. Very nice. Then the final of the 3 sprues. And this is the motive limbs, shall we say. So we have 2 legs and 2 arms. Right, let's do the same drill here. You'll be pleased to know I have no intention of painting these. I'm slow as it is, but a friend and a couple of friends have expressed some interest in painting these. I'm just happy to buy them to have the models. You'll be seeing a few bits of Tyranid fun on channel Leakycheese over the next month. So this is just to add to that little, it's almost like having a bunch of universal bad guys, isn't it? Well, okay, Tyranids don't have any concept of good or bad. Universal enemies. Well, there you go. I've managed to find a couple of little air bubbles there. Well, not mega small, but there you go. There are 2 air bubbles on that hoof. And to be honest, that's perhaps the last place I'd have expected to find them. That's fine. I mean, that's easy to fix. You've got a nice sharp detail. You can rebuild the form. It's not like having an air bubble on the end of one of these talons, shall we say. But that aside, these are, again, like the other 2 sprues, these are beautifully cast. Barely any mould seam, if any mould seam at all. Yeah, and looks really good. I am, for my first experience of buying Finecast, really for a specific gaming miniature apart from one-offs and stuff, or certainly a more complex Finecast model, that looks really, really good. I'm very pleased with, very, very pleased with those parts. That is going to be a very straightforward model to put together from a point of view of cleanup, and I'm also quite looking forward to that already. Well, there you go. Certainly from my point of view, that's Finecast getting over the first hurdle of the rigorous, challenging and aspirational Leakycheese quality assessment. We shall see how we do once we go through the assembly process. Please do share your thoughts. I mean, I've asked for this before, but tell me about your good Finecast experiences, tell me about your bad as well. Interesting to know. Being honest and just taking this model out of the pack straight away now. My expectations have been considerably challenged by what we've looked at here. So do share your thoughts on this in the comments and I'll be interested to hear as always. But other than that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time and goodbye.